Tomas Reed wasn't exactly a success story. Living in a cramped pod apartment, he scraped by doing food deliveries in a city lit more by neon than sunlight. When an ad for a new virtual dating sim promised intergalactic romance and cash rewards, Tomas clicked faster than he'd ever clicked in his life. He signed a waiver pages long, unread and, strapped on the headset, expecting cheesy avatars and scripted flirts. Instead, he blacked out. When he woke up, he was lying on a soft, warm surface that didn't feel like his lumpy bed. The air smelled like citrus and fire. The ceiling was made of glass, showing not concrete and buildings, but stars of them. Tomas sat up slowly, head pounding. A calm, soothing voice echoed from nowhere. "Welcome, Tomas Reed. You have completed the bonding sequence. Your family awaits." "What bonding sequence?" he groaned. "Where the hell am I?" The walls responded. "You are on the birthing deck of the Ellery Concorde. Your spouses have completed phase 3 of biological gestation." "Gestation," he repeated, heart stopping. "Spouses." The door hissed open. 5 figures entered, each unique and stunning in their alien design, one with translucent skin that shimmered like water, another with soft blue fur, and 4 gentle eyes. All of them looked at him with radiant affection. The Talus stepped forward, placing her delicate hand over her chest. "Tomas, love, we're so glad you're awake." The fertilization process was successful. He blinked. "What fertilization process?" "This was a dating sim. You signed the contract," said the smallest one with a hum of amusement. "You agreed to be a part of our lineage cycle. The game was simply how your species prefers to interact." Tomas backed up until his legs hit a soft couch. I thought this was all virtual." "It was," said the one with coral pink tendrils for hair. "But virtual interfacing is how we initiate legal agreements in your language's format. It made your consent clearer." "Wait," he said, shaking. "You're telling me I just fathered alien babies?" 5, the furred one said, proud. "Perfectly healthy, developing in their pods. You did well." "I didn't even know I was doing anything," he shouted. "Your DNA was collected through non-invasive transference during your avatar's final selection," explained the AI calmly. Tomas collapsed onto the couch, mind spinning. This isn't real. But it was. Because just then, the pod wall lifted and beyond it were 5 glowing spheres, each pulsing with life. Tomas Reed had been through some strange things. Once locked himself in a storage pod for 2 hours. Another time got dumped mid-delivery for being too polite. But nothing came close to waking up in an alien maternity ward with 5 glowing eggs that apparently had his DNA in them. He paced the ship's curved hallways, walls humming with a soft organic rhythm. Every step echoed in his brain like an alarm. "You're a dad now, an alien dad." 5 times, the AI, who now called itself Lyra, hovered beside him as a glowing orb. It is natural for humans to experience disorientation during the bond revelation phase. "Would you like a mood stabilizer?" "No, I'd like a time machine, or a refund." "Refunds are not part of the Galactic Reproduction Accords," Lyra said, almost cheerfully. "However, you may still qualify for paternal compensation if you complete the bonding cycle successfully." "What even is the bonding cycle?" A soft chime interrupted their conversation. One of the alien women's in, the one with shimmering scales and a calm voice, approached with grace. "Tomas," she said warmly, "we need your help. One of the pods is destabilizing." Tomas blinked. "I'm not a doctor. I'm not even good at keeping houseplants alive." But she didn't flinch. "You're their father. Your touch, your presence, it stabilizes them. That's how your species works. That's why you were chosen." He followed her into the incubation chamber. The 5 pods sat in a semicircle, each emitting a different soft color. 4 pulsed gently. 1 flickered erratically, its light fading to a worrisome gray. "Is it dying?" he asked, his throat tight. Not yet, said another of his alien spouses, Ilari, the telepathic one with soft, moth-like wings. But she needs you. Tomas stepped closer. His heart raced. Ilari nodded. We can already sense her development, sensitive, emotional, curious. She's overwhelmed. He knelt beside the flickering pod, placing his hand on the smooth surface. It was warm, almost trembling beneath his palm. He had no idea what to say, so he spoke the only thing he could. Hey, it's me, your dad. Look, I don't know what I'm doing. I never had a real dad either. I'm just some guy from Earth who likes retro games and overcooked pasta. But if you need me, I'm here, I promise. The pod's flicker slowed, stabilized, then returned to the same soft glow as the others. Behind him, the alien women exhaled. In awe. You're imprinted, Ilari whispered. What does that mean? Tomas asked, still kneeling. It means she's chosen you. Soul recognition. You're not just her father. You're her protector, her guide. I didn't sign up for this, he said softly. But you were meant for it, said Zin, laying a gentle hand on his shoulder. You think you're ordinary? But to us, you're chaos. Your heart, that's what we needed. It's what she needed. Tomas looked at the pod, then at them. So what now? Now, said Ilari with a small smile. Now you become the father of 5 alien babies and help us survive the galaxy's most ruthless maternal inspection. Tomas stared. Wait, what? From above, Lyra's voice chimed in brightly. Alert, incoming Galactic Child Welfare Assessment Officer. ETA, 2 hours. Please prepare your paternal credentials and demonstrate a functioning family unit. Non-compliance may result in immediate custody reassignment. Zin's expression turned serious. That means they'll take our children away unless you prove you belong with us. Tomas backed into the wall. I just learned I'm a dad 5 minutes ago. You have 2 hours to become a better one, Ilari said, stepping forward and taking his hand. And we'll help you every step of the way. Outside the window, stars spun past like streaks of fire. Inside, Tomas Reed stood at the center of 5 lives not yet born, with alien lovers he barely knew, and a galactic officer on the way to judge if he was worthy. And for the first time in his life, he wasn't thinking about how to escape, he was thinking about how to stay. Tomas stood awkwardly in what looked like a cross between a meditation chamber and a daycare. If the daycare had bioluminescent walls and smelled faintly of citrus and ozone, he'd been scrubbed, dressed, and briefed by his 5 alien spouses. In a whirlwind of instructions that mostly boiled down to one message. Don't say anything stupid. Easier said than done. The AI Lyra's orb pulsed a calm blue beside him. The inspector has docked. She is approaching the chamber. Please assume a parental stance. What's a parental stance? Chin high, feet shoulder width, hands behind back, Lyra said helpfully. And no signs of fear. Galactic officials can smell fear. Before he could panic further, the chamber doors hissed open. A tall figure entered, her form humanoid, but clearly not human. Smooth lavender skin, eyes like obsidian mirrors, and a voice that carried both authority and disappointment. I am Inspector Varys, assigned to assess the legitimacy of this hybrid family unit. Tomas swallowed. Hi, welcome. She ignored the greeting and scanned the room with a sleek tablet that floated beside her. You are Tomas Reed of Earth, age 27, occupation, unemployed, prior experience in caregiving, none, financial status prior to contract, substandard, psychological, flags, impulsive, socially dislocated, emotionally reactive. Tomas stared. Okay, that's harsh. Varys raised an eyebrow. Do you dispute these records? No, just don't usually hear it all at once. Zin stepped forward, calm and elegant. Inspector Tomas has demonstrated remarkable, instinctual parenting under extreme conditions. He stabilized a gestation pod through emotional imprinting, Hilary added. No training, no guidance, just heart. Varys turned to Tomas. Why did you participate in the union ritual? I thought it was a game, he said honestly. A dating sim. I was broke and lonely. I didn't know it was real. The inspector blinked once, her expression unreadable. And now that you do, I'm staying, Tomas said. Not because I have to, because I want to. Why? He glanced at the pods, still glowing gently in the room's center. Because they're mine, and because these incredible women believe in me more than I ever believed in myself. That's worth fighting for. Varys took a slow, calculated step forward. Do you know what happens to unfit human fathers in cross-species unions? Yeah, Tomas said. I read the legal pamphlet after I woke up. They get their memories wiped, their offspring get reassigned, and sometimes they're recycled. Varys didn't blink. Then why are you still here? Tomas exhaled. Because for the first time in my life, someone needs me, and I'm not walking away from that. The inspector's dark eyes studied him for a long, silent moment. Behind her, the gestation pods pulsed softly, one brighter than the rest. The flickering one, his daughter. I've seen 1,000 human matches, Varys said at last. Most collapse under pressure. Many run. Some try to fake their way through. But you, Tomas braced for it. You're a disaster. But a sincere one. He blinked. Wait, is that good? Your sincerity is statistically rare, she said flatly. And, against my professional judgment, effective. Your presence has stabilized all 5 gestations. That cannot be ignored. Zin let out a breath. Hilary touched Tomas's hand with hers, wings fluttering behind her. The union is approved, Varys announced. Pending a 6-month follow-up assessment. Don't make me regret this. She turned and strode from the chamber, her floating tablet following silently. As the doors shut behind her, Tomas finally slumped. Did that just happen? You passed? Zin said, smiling. You succeeded, Hilary added, resting her forehead gently against his. Lyra's orb flickered with what Tomas swore was pride. A 92% compatibility rating increase post-inspection. Remarkable. Tomas looked at the 5 glowing pods. He wasn't just a donor anymore. He was a father. A real one. And somewhere deep inside, a new part of him woke up, stronger, steadier. Ready? Okay, he said quietly. Let's raise a family. The ship had changed. So had Tomas. What once felt like a high-tech prison now felt more like a home, a strange, floating one, sure, but filled with warmth, laughter, the soft buzz of preparation. He stood at the edge of the incubation room, watching the 5 pods pulse brighter than ever before. Lyra's voice rang out gently, almost reverently. Final phase of birthing sequence commencing. All paternal systems online. Tomas blinked. Paternal systems? You, Tomas, Lyra clarified. Your biological signature is required. Physical contact. Emotional synchrony. Tomas moved forward, his chest tight. I'm ready, Hilary, standing beside him with glowing wings folded back, took his hand. So are they. The pods shimmered, the colors bleeding into warm whites and soft golds. Then one by one, they opened, flowering apart like petals, releasing a soft mist and 5 small beings, fragile and otherworldly. The first had tiny wings like Hilary's, but Tomas's brown eyes. The second shimmered with translucent skin, blinking up at him with wonder. The third wriggled and growled, clearly going to be the loud one. The fourth immediately grabbed his finger and refused to let go. The 5th, his daughter, the one who had flickered, was last. She curled into his arms without hesitation, letting out a breathy coo that cracked something deep inside his chest. He wept, silently. Zin placed a hand on his back. You did it. We did it, he whispered. But the peace didn't last. Lyra's blue light pulsed red. Unidentified vessel approaching at high velocity. Not broadcasting diplomatic codes. Scans indicate weapon signatures. Centauri make. Tomas turned sharply. Valtheron. Alary's eyes narrowed. Impossible. We're outside his jurisdiction. Unless he doesn't care, Zin said. Unless he wants them. The babies. A communication request flashed on the chamber wall. Tomas stepped forward. Put it through. The air shimmered and the last person Tomas expected filled the screen. A male, regal and cold, silver-crested with amber robes, and a voice that cut like ice. I am Commander Dren Voss of the Dominion of Kreth. We know what's aboard your ship. Tomas clenched his fists. They're my children. They are property of a forbidden genetic program, Dren said. Half-human hybrids. Created outside treaty bounds. They belong to the Galactic Registry for reprocessing. Zin's voice turned steel. You'll have to come through us. Voss didn't blink. That was the plan. The transmission cut. A countdown started on the interface. Weapons lock in 4 minutes. Tomas looked at his wives, then at the 5 small lives swaddled in alien fabrics, blinking and wriggling in the soft glow of their new world. He had no training, no weapon skills, no idea how to fight in space, but something inside him, something raw and human, rose like fire. Lyra, he said, turning to the AI, can we run? Too slow? They'll intercept before hyperspace is ready. Then we don't run, Tomas said. We protect. Stella, already pulling on her armor, nodded. Now you sound like a father. He glanced at the babies, his children, each one a miracle. They're not taking them, he said. Outside, the enemy ship closed in faster, larger, lethal. Inside, Tomas prepared to become what he never imagined he could be, a protector, a fighter, a father who'd fight a fleet if he had to. And in 4 minutes, he would. Tomas had never held a weapon in his life. Now he was standing on a starship's command deck, plasma pulse rifle in hand, staring down a countdown timer ticking away the seconds before impact. 3 minutes. His children, 5, impossibly small, glowing beings, were nestled in a security pod behind reinforced shielding. His wives moved around him with terrifying purpose, Zin rerouting shield energy through the corridor bulkheads, Ilari activating cloaking bursts, and Stella splicing into Lyra's system to override the ship's outdated defense protocols. Lyra's orb flickered red. Enemy vessel powering up particle lance. They intend to pierce the hull and board manually. They're not taking our babies, Tomas said through gritted teeth. No, Ilari agreed. They're not. Tomas's mind raced. He couldn't outgun them, couldn't outrun them, but he could outthink them. Lyra, he said. What's the power signature of their hull shielding? Standard Dominion Class 3, resistant to plasma, vulnerable to sonic disruption, at 87 And do we have anything that produces that frequency? Lyra paused. 1 moment. Cross-referencing maintenance logs, ... Yes. The hydro-resonant calipers, used for engine tuning, but they're not weapons. Doesn't matter, Tomas said. We just need to get close enough. Zin caught on. You're thinking of boarding them. We reverse the play, Tomas said. They expect us to defend. Instead, we strike. Use their confidence against them. Lyra, Stella said, can you get us within docking range without triggering their proximity alarms? I can simulate a hull breach and vent core plasma to mask our approach. However, it will require precise piloting. Catherine, strapping into the pilot's seat, grinned. So I'll fly manually. Ilari looked at Tomas. And what do you do? He looked at the rifle in his hand, then at his children, then at her. I make sure no one touches our family. They launched. The maneuver was pure madness. The ship shuddered under artificial decompression, systems flickering as Lyra created the illusion of damage. Enemy sensors registered false failure. Catherine navigated straight into the blind spot of the Dominion cruiser. Then Tomas and Zin blasted through the docking tunnel like ghosts. Inside the enemy ship, alarms blared. Dominion soldiers, tall and armored in obsidian plating, scrambled to respond, but they hadn't faced a mother like Zin. She moved like liquid death, silent and sure. Tomas followed, clutching the tuning device, a metal rod, barely the size of a wrench, wired into his suit with help from Stella. They reached the reactor chamber. Their systems will reboot in 90 seconds, Lyra whispered through his comm. Z held the door, while Tomas sprinted to the main core panel. Please work, he muttered, activating the device. It let out a deep hum, a frequency he felt in his bones. The walls vibrated, panels sparked, light dimmed. Lyra confirmed, their shields are collapsing. Internal systems destabilized. You've created a cascade. That's when Commander Voss arrived. He wasn't in armor. He didn't need it. His voice carried more weight than a blaster. You're not a soldier, he said, stepping over sparking conduits. You're a human. Tomas didn't lower the rod. I'm a father. Voss laughed. Do you really think that word means something out here? You're one organism in a galaxy that doesn't care. It does mean something, Tomas said. Because it means I protect what's mine. It means I choose them every day. Voss raised a weapon, but Zin was faster. She stepped in front of Tomas, blocking the shot with a shimmering shield. The blast rebounded, shorting out the corridor lights. Tomas lunged. Not out of skill, out of instinct, rage, fear. The tuning device struck Voss in the temple, a sickening crack. The commander collapsed. Lyra's voice crackled. Hostile vessel systems offline. Evacuation protocols activated. They ran, back through the tunnel, back to their ship, back to their family. As they undocked, the Dominion ship began to spin, its systems locked in recursive failure. Lights went out, weapons powered down. They had one dot, not with superior firepower, but with something only a human could weaponize. Creative chaos. Pure will. Back in the nursery, Tomas collapsed into a chair, holding his daughter now, blinking up at him with huge silver eyes. I didn't know I could do that, he whispered. You didn't have to, Ilari said, curling beside him. You just had to believe it when it mattered. You saved us, Zin added. No, he said, looking at all of them. We saved each other. Lyra's orb dimmed to soft white. Shall I log this day as your official paternal activation event? Tomas chuckled. Yeah, do that. Outside the viewport, stars spun, unindifferent. Eternal. But inside the ship, in the arms of a former delivery boy turned accidental father, 5 new lives sparked with possibility. Tomas Reed had thought he'd signed up for a game, but he had written a legacy, and he was just getting started.